What's up, guys? It's Chaz and it's Charlie. Today I want to discuss the benefits of quitting weed. And there are many benefits, and it depends on the person on which benefit is better than the other. You choose, but I'm going to share with you a few benefits that I experienced since I actually quit weed. And I'll say the first benefit is freedom from addiction. Marijuana, weed, cannabis, I think it's one of, although it's on the lower end of drugs, and most would say it's not. I mean, I agree, it's not as bad as alcohol or hard drugs or pills or whatnot. It is a herb, it is a plant, but the fact is, it still is a drug intended to be used for medicinal purposes. But with that being said, people like to claim that THC weed is not addictive, that it's because you're not stealing from your mom to get you a score, or you're losing jobs. It's not an addictive substance, and I totally disagree that weed is definitely addictive. And I will argue it can possibly be more addictive than alcohol or hard drugs. And I'll say that because it's less stigma. It's kind of cool to smoke weed. And because it's not as harsh, or the effects are not as severe as other drugs, people tend to rationalize doing it for a long period of time or doing it all the time. So it's actually kind of harder to quit. You will hear many weed smokers that'll say, I'm not addicted, I can quit anytime I want to. But most people who say that actually don't quit anytime they want to, and they find it hard to actually quit weed. Or you might say, I've heard one person, and I'm guilty of this, you may scare me. You may say, I can go a couple days without weed, and you say, oh, see, I can quit weed, so I know I can quit, so I'll just continue to smoke weed and I'll start back smoking. Hold on, guys. And because we rationalize in our head that it's not that bad a drug, it's actually so much harder to quit than, like I said, hard drugs. Like if you're on heroin, you're on crack, you're on those type of drugs, I mean, it's obvious they're not good for you. Even the ones that are addicted, they know obviously it's not good for you, your health, your mind. You can physically see the effects of drugs, people who use hard drugs. So there's no debate on that. But weed, it is a debate. Most people that smoke weed, a lot of people that smoke weed, you don't even know that they smoke weed. So because it's not as detectable, because there is less stigma, because it's not extreme effects, people tend to abuse it for a much longer period of time. People, if you are alcoholic for 20 years, or you do drugs for 10, 15 years, it's a high chance that your health will succumb to doing that drug. But, you can smoke weed for 20, 25, 30 years and not get noticeable effects to the public, or it not affect your job. So you rationalize, I've went 20 years with, and no major issues. What's the harm of weed? But with anything that you require every day, that you need every day, and when I was smoking, I did need weed every day, multiple times a day, I had to admit to myself, I have an issue with addiction. And I think that's the first step when you're trying to go on your sobriety journey from weed, is admitting that you have an issue. And fast forward to the end of my journey, it feels so good to not be addicted to weed. I don't wake up feeling like I need it. I don't need it after I get off work. I don't need it doing work. It doesn't dictate my mental state. It doesn't dictate my emotions. It doesn't dictate my appetite. There's so much freedom I've experienced from addiction now that I quit weed. And I would say weed is probably one of the hardest things that I've had to quit, because I, you know, had a love for it. There were no, again, like I said, major issues that I say where, I've lost my jobs or I've lost this or lost that I have to quit. None of that happened, but I was tired of feeling like I needed weed to survive from day to day. So I would say that's one of the number one benefits. What's another benefit? Saving money. It's a big one. I always say we are in times where everything is high. Gas is high. Eggs is high. Dog food is high. Clothes are high. Everything is high. Everybody can benefit, unless you're Jeff Bezos. I mean, you don't have to be Jeff Bezos. Unless you have a lot of money saved up. Everybody should be trying to save. And if you got a lot of money, you still should be trying to save money. And something like buying weed every day, that's going to be a major strain on your pockets. I did a couple videos saying on how, if you calculate how much you spend in a week's time, in a year's time on weed, a lot of times, I know with me personally, in a 10-year time span, I will spend probably over 20 grand on weed. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And I've heard some people that say, "Oh, that's I buy an ounce a day or ounce every couple of days." That is a lot of money, And you can say it's not like crack, or you don't have to steal. You don't have to steal from your mom to support your habit. At these rates, you might have to steal from somebody to smoke some weed if you're smoking a half every day or ounce every couple of days. Weed is expensive. And if you're buying weed from dispensaries, that's even more expensive. But just think about the money that you're going to save. I'm pretty cheap. At this point in my life, with 3 kids, thinking of little small benefits that I'm not thinking of right now. But what are some of your benefits that you